All right, welcome back, everybody. Thursday, December 10th, 2020. First game of NFL Week 14. College football Week 14 was very nice because the typical patterns came through. 43, the 14th prime. Best game of the week that we saw last week because of the 43-14 relationship was the 11-point favorite getting upset. Washington by Stanford, where both teams became 43 and 43 against each other. My goal this week is to pick out the strongest 43-14 riddles. I trust those numbers because football equals 43. Again, 43 is the 14th prime. The NFL used to have a 14-game schedule before they went to 16 games, and that's probably because Vesica Pisces equals 53, which is the shape of the football in sacred geometry, and that's the 16th prime. And with regards to Super Bowl 53, Patriots, Rams, again, 53, the 16th prime. There were 16 points scored in that Super Bowl, 13-3. So here we are, Week 14. First game of the week is Patriots and Rams. And the first 43 that jumped out when looking at this game was in the head-to-head. The Patriots have a winning record at the Rams. They are 4-2 at the Rams. The Patriots have won more in the Rams building than the Rams have. They're 4-2 there. If they lost, they would be 4-3, a bit like 43, the 14th prime. And just to show something real quick, Sean McVay, the coach, not McDermott, I want McVay. Where'd he go? You see how today is 321 days after his birthday? That also means today's his 322nd day of his age, 322. 322, that number is skull and bones at Yale. And remember, American football is credited to Walter Camp, who went to Yale with the most simple cipher, Yale's 43. And Yale's in New Haven, which equals 40, or what is it? New Haven CT, like you write it on an envelope's 43. And there's an annual bowl game there. Multiple people have told me this who follow the work, and where the football stadium is off exit 43 on the highway. But, of course, football's 43. And with regards to the whole 43 thing, the last time the Rams beat the Patriots was the day leaving 43 days left in the year, the 322nd day of the year, November 18th, 2001, the very last time the Rams beat the Patriots. So there's definitely something going on with that 322-43, because again, I'll just put it up here on the screen so you can see it. November 18th is the 322nd day of the year, leaving 43 days remaining. Call it Skull and Bones Day. And again, Walter Camp, who went to Yale, is credited with American football. So I don't think it's an accident they have this game on primetime of all games. Remember when 9/11 happened, 2001, the last time the Rams beat the Patriots, just months after 9/11, we had the 43rd president, George W. Bush, who went to Yale and was a member of Skull and Bones, like his father, who was the 43rd vice president. Not to mention Florida equals 43. Brady's down in Florida this year at age 43. The last time Brady won a Super Bowl, it was over the Rams. And by the way, since the Steelers lost and that perfect season riddle was broken up by an appropriate team, Washington, who it happened against, I think that's a really good sign for the Chiefs, especially since Washington did it, because remember, last year's Chiefs Super Bowl was connected to Washington and Doug Williams and the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl. And the week before, the Chiefs became 10-1 in the Super Bowl stadium. There's something real interesting about how Brady can get his 257th career win this week, the 55th prime, and this NFL weekend's Monday, which is 55 days before the Super Bowl. So we'll look at that too. But there's a big riddle going on here with this NFL Week 14 with 43-year-old Brady, the 14th prime. These teams playing, again, Brady and the Patriots beating the Rams in his last Super Bowl. Again, we're trying to look through the theme of the week. And notice if the Rams win, they're 5-1 at home, right? 5-1. Rams equals 51. Super Bowl 55 is the 51st of the modern era. Tampa equals 51. So if the Rams win, they're 5-1 at home. If the Rams won, the Patriots would also fall to 6-7. 67 is the 19th prime number. The Rams-Patriots Super Bowl was the start of 2019, and it's been 19 years. It's been 19 years since the Rams beat the Patriots. So if the Patriots fall to 6-7, like 67 the 19th prime, the Rams' first win versus the Patriots in 19 years, and a little more than that, because the last time they won was November 18th, 2001. And here, I'll just put that up here too so everyone can see that. Rams. Maybe I'm zoomed in too far. What in the world? Hold on. Rams. Normally this is so easy. There we go. Head to head. Okay. New England Patriots. So you can see they've lost 4 in the regular season and then the 2 Super Bowls. So they've lost a total of 6 straight, and the last win was their 8th meeting ever, November 18th, 2001, the day leaving 43 days left in the year, the 322nd day of the year. Now 19 years later, these cycles of 19, the Rams have a chance to get their first win. And isn't it just so perfect that it's McVay's 322nd day of his age, and that the Patriots could fall to 4-3 at the Rams? If you're listening to me and saying it sounds like you like the Rams, yeah, it probably should sound that way because that's the case I'm making. If you're coming into this thinking it's going to be the Patriots tonight, ride with your guns. I'll go with what the Patriots narrative would be, but I'll show you my smoking bullet for why I like the Rams in light of what we've witnessed for a lot of the Thursday night games this year. And I'll just say it right now. Thursday equals 35 in the most pure cipher. We've seen it show up in a lot of games. Newton can get his 35th away loss tonight. So that's the one that really hurts the Patriots, in addition to everything else I'm saying right now. But if you still like the Patriots, I'll throw that out there in a moment, the devil's advocate narrative. But again, man, the 19-year cycles, the 3-2-2-43 thing, it doesn't look too bad. And I'll just plug this note in here twice so people don't miss it. Newton can pick up 35th away loss on TNF. And again, TNF is 14, LA is 14. That could be a big number tonight, 14 in the game. Week 14, LA. Everything else we're saying. I forgot to write this here. Rams would beat Patriots for first time in 19 years. That's, again, if the Patriots fall to 6-7, like 67, the 19th prime. Okay. Rams would also be 9-4 with a win. Coronavirus pandemic's 94, just the year of the coronavirus season. It's been a familiar number all year in the news. Off the top of my head, I don't know how many times I've documented it in sports, so I'm just throwing that one out there. The Patriots narrative to win is just going on with some of the black themes we've seen this year. Remember, Patrick Mahomes signed the July 6, 7-6, $400 million contract almost a year after we pointed out the riddle with the 100th NFL season and the 400 years of black slavery in America, tracing back through Virginia's history. That anniversary was hit just before the start of the last NFL season where the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, the year of Super Bowl 54. We were talking about that theme and what was being encoded all year, and then Mahomes ended up signing that contract, just backing up what we were saying. So if Cam Newton won tonight, the Patriots would get to 7-6. So that's just the one thing that stands out. And again, remember the words slave, Negro, blues, Rasta, they're all 76. And you know what else? As I say that out loud, I should note that in the most pure cipher, slave is 14. I don't normally talk about that number, but if they wanted to go that route with the Patriots tonight, 7-6 with Cam Newton, and to start week 14, I guess I better plug that in here. So that's not out of the question, but I was really, when I was first scouting through, I was looking for a 35, and when I saw that Newton could pick it up, I was like, that's probably the stat that matters the most. I mean, if you've been following the Thursday night decodes all season, it's probably been close to half the games where the 35's been the stat where it fell. Thursday 35. If just to play that devil's advocate narrative, if the Rams did lose, instead of becoming 5-1 at home, they would be 4-2, and we know what 42 represents. I guess it would fit in with the slavery thing as well, because slavery equals 42 among other things. And Right now, the Rams are 5-7 versus the Patriots. So notice if the Rams won, they'd also be 6-7, right? Like 67, the 19th prime. First win in 19 years. So that 67 could play in two ways. And to me, that just feels right. I mean, the 19-year cycle is such a big deal with the Patriots as well. And, just the fact that the Patriots can fall to 6-7 for the season and the Rams can get to 6-7. So, and again, the Patriots would fall to 4-3 at the Rams, 43 the 14th prime to start week 14. If you count the all-time games between these teams, the Rams are 5-9, and remember, 59 is the 17th prime, and when they did the Super Bowl rematch, it was a rematch of 17 years earlier. But there is actually one other stat in there that could go for the Patriots. If the Patriots won, they would be 10-5 versus the Rams, and 105 is the 14th triangular number. So there are a couple things that could go in the Patriots' favor, to be fair. But again, to me, that 67-19 thing, the Thursday night number, those are hard to go against, especially the 35. So there has been some Thursday games this season where the 35 could fall on either side too, just showing how like that number's just been there constantly throughout the season. In this case, I only saw it could go one way, and it's Cam Newton in the regular season. He could get his 35th away loss. Thursday's 35 in the most pure cipher. And if you looked at his all-time stats, you could make an argument for him staying on 37 away losses in Los Angeles, but still picking up the 35 on Thursday. Also interesting about Cam is today's 213 days after his birthday. That's the LA area code, 213. I'll put the things around it so it looks more like an area code. Goff does come in with 43 all-time wins, but in the regular season he's on 41. Him and McVay picked up the 41s last week in week 13. 41 the 13th prime. If he did win, he'd get his 44th all-time win and his 42nd regular season win. In September, Gematria African Americans 44, like Obama number 44. And then we know about the 42 connection, so that could fit in. It's 57 days after Goff's birthday. Rams is also 57, like how they can get to 5-1 at home. Write that out here. Rams equals 57, 51, can get to 5-1 at home with the win. You could also say it's Goff's 58th day of his age, and that's the one thing. That would be another, drop in the Patriots bucket. If the Rams lost, they're 5-8 versus the Patriots. And again, Cam Newton was the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl, and Huey P. Newton equals 58, if you remember that riddle. The other thing that's interesting about Goff's stats is if he did lose, he'd get his 28th all-time loss and his 26th regular season loss, and Newton is 28-26. So again, those details, they're there, but I'm still thinking, okay, 35 on Thursday, that 67-19 thing makes a ton of sense. Especially with the whole 3-2-2-43 thing as well. Granted, McVay and Goff, they both could stay on 43 all-time wins, but Let me double-check who they play next week. Looked at this earlier, but I just want to make sure I didn't overlook anything. Next week's opponent's the Jets. Los Angeles Rams is 52 in the most pure cipher if they split their next two at home. If they were going to do that, I would think they would probably more likely lose to the Patriots than the Jets, since the Jets are winless. It's funny that next week's game's on a 52 date numerology as well. Let's see. That'd be the upset of the year, wouldn't it? If the Jets went into LA and beat them next week, that'd be one of those any given Sunday games. But yeah, McVay's 322nd day of his age. The last time the Rams won was the 322nd day of the year, 19 years ago. I just keep coming back to that. Can't get off that one. So The notes are linked. I got everyone's head-to-head and the QB stuff in here. What I still need to plug in is the coach information and just measure from the birthdays. So, and then do a little more gematria decoding. So there's still a few hours of total work to be put in, absolutely. But there's a lot of the information here if you just want to start going through and looking. And remember, at the top of the post, you got your gematria cheat sheet linked as well. So you just click on that, and you got all the gematria for the teams, team name, field, city, all that. But yeah, I for my thoughts for tonight's game, even though my thoughts, it's been tough because I'm just going with what I always do. It's just the consistent things they've been missing in a lot of spots where they didn't seem to ever miss in the past. Like, for example, just to make a point, I really like the Seahawks times a million last week because of the Super Bowl 48 ritual that was supposed to happen if the Seahawks won. Did you guys notice that game started 5-0, just like Super Bowl 48 started 5-0? And I can't believe they went off the script from there. It's like, how do they pay tribute like that and then not fulfill the record? It's just, it's some of these things are mind-boggling. But still, looking at this, I mean, if this is the ritual that they've planned, this 19-year, drought of the Rams beating the Patriots and just the way the 67s can line up, I don't see how that fails, honestly. So, even though I've been surprised and shocked a lot lately, that's still, I'm going to be kind of surprised. I know there are some things there for the Patriots. It doesn't seem like the Patriots are getting the benefit of many riddles. Granted, they did last week. Last week, the first thought I had about the Patriots is the one I should have stuck with. 6-6 on the 6th, like Bill Belichick got his 6th championship at age 66 against Los Angeles. And notice they play LA back-to-back weeks with this stuff. But, I just thought about a cross-league. Okay, I'll tell you what else. If you do see the Patriots lose tonight, I think it's a really good sign for the other LA game because I just noticed something. I'm already liking the Falcons this week, even though I haven't finished my decode, and I'll get to why. But I'm noticing that if the Patriots lost, they would be 2-5 away, and they had the huge 25 ritual against the Falcons, who are also playing LA this week. Before I open up the phone line, I'll just show you this with Matt Ryan. This just looks too good to me right here. LA loves 118. Remember, Los Angeles' birthday is September 4th, the day leaving 118 days left in the year. Los Angeles, California is 118. They're on the 118th Meridian West. Things like Clippers equal 118. Their current mayor, Eric Garcetti's 118. There's just so much 118 stuff with Los Angeles. Ryan get his 118th win and become 53-53 away. Los Angeles 53. The week begins with the Super Bowl 53 rematch, Patriots and Rams. And it was Super Bowl 51. It was Super Bowl 51 where Brady beat the Falcons. So these are the last two teams that Brady beat in Super Bowls. And, the Falcons just happen to be playing LA as well. And the Rams can get to 5-1. While the Patriots can fall to 2-5. Remember the 25-point comeback on 2/5, Falcons 25 when the Patriots beat the Falcons in Super Bowl 51. Houston Texans hosted. Houston Texans is 51. So it looks like there's a connection with these two games right here. And yeah, that's the main thing. If Herbert loses, he'll also be 2-5 at home in Los Angeles. So, again, just trying to catch those league-wide themes. Seems like there's something going on there with that to me. But yeah, a lot of the data and information is in here. And again, a lot of times it is just the most surface-level stuff that I put in first. So, and again, this week I'm really going to pay mind to the things that are, in the blue cipher. Because like I was saying last week, I had those 5 games that I thought wouldn't miss, and out of those 5 games, 3 hit and 2 didn't. And one of them was the Seahawks, which is the one that really hurt people, because a lot of people stayed away from the Lions game just because they hate the Lions, understandably. But when the Lions beat the Bears with the comeback at the end of last week, which was very frustrating because it looked like so many of these games have looked like they're put away and then the team comes back. And we've been on the beneficiary of plenty of those games this year. But again, just when the Lions won, I thought, God, man, 4 years ago I would have had that game right because I would have only been looking at Lions 24. It would have been the only thing I saw in that game was the 2-4 that could happen in, what was it, the homer away record, but that's what hit. And I wouldn't have seen the 66 because I didn't do a reverse gematria back then, like how the Bears could get to 6-6, and I wouldn't have seen the 90 back then either, like how Stafford could have got his 90th loss because they faded both those things, and all that played was the 24. And again, I think a lot of these games that are meaningless, they could be double coded, and it could be just so that they fulfill the ritual, and they can go either way depending on public money. They're doing something with that, but I just know 4 years ago, the only thing I would have saw was that 24, and that was the number that prevailed last week. Seahawks game, though, oh man. Anyway. Again, I can't believe they started off the game 5-0, and then the Seahawks lost. I thought, wow, they did even 5-0 like Super Bowl 48. But then from there, the game went totally different. So, again, what are the odds? I wonder how many games in the history of NFL have ever started 5-0. I bet you it's such a small group of games. A safety and a field goal to start the game. I mean, I'd be surprised if in the entire NFL history there were even 10 5-0 starts. And for Super Bowl 48 to start that way, where the Seahawks won in the Giants Stadium, still can't get over that game either. But yeah, I'm going to take the Rams with the 67-19 riddle. First win in 19 years, getting to 5-1 at home. I think it's the better riddle. If you like to play it super safe, I just wait for the Sunday games because you'll have more to choose from. There are a few things there for the Patriots. But I feel like McVay on his 322nd day of his age is a lot like the last time the Rams won on the 322nd day of the year. And with that said, let me get open the phone line here. So just wanted to make sure the message is clear. All right. Let me make sure I got the right number on the screen, too. Okay, yeah, we're good. If you guys want to call in, it's that number on the screen. The line is open. And while we wait on the first call, I'll check in with the chat here. Well, hold on. Sunday's game was 45 weeks after Kobe's death. Last Sunday. So today would be 45 weeks and 4 days, and the Sunday games will be 46 weeks after Kobe's death. So, because we talked about that last week. New England and 13 both equaled 45 forwards and backwards. And New England ended up winning 45-0 in Week 13 over L.A. And then that rapper died that same day, Blue Benji Kobe. 45, and Hip Hop's 45 the same day. What's up, caller?
What's going on, Jack?
Hey, man.
Tuned in just a little bit late. I was seeing that what you're saying about this game, you're leaning towards the Rams.
Yeah, because I like that the Patriots can fall to 6-7, and the Rams can become 6-7 versus the Patriots, and that's like 67, the 19th prime, and they haven't won versus the Patriots for 19 years. So. And my main thing also is just how consistent 35 has been on Thursday, and that Cam Newton can get his 35th away loss. That's huge too. So.
Yeah. I was liking the Patriots. I just want to tune in to see what you like. But I was liking the Patriots. I want to share a few things just to see if I don't know if you caught it. All right. So, what I noticed was both times that the Patriots and the Rams played in the Super Bowl, they played on the same exact date. I thought that was funny. On February 3rd. So both their Super Bowls ever met up, then they played on February 3rd. All right, so from February 3rd until today.
Well, I thought you were going to say right away that's the 34th day of the year, and the Patriots could get to 3-4 away. So that is an interesting observation.
Yeah, that. But then what I also noticed was from that day until today, it's 311 days, and Bill Belichick can get his 311th win all time. From the
anniversary date. So not really from the last Super Bowl, but from the anniversary date. Okay.
Yeah. Not from the last Super Bowl, but from the anniversary date, which is obviously big with them two teams that they played both their Super Bowls on that date. So it's just interesting. He can get his 311th win on that same day. You know what I'm saying? Against that team that he played, you know what I'm saying, an anniversary. So I thought that stood out big to me. And then there was one other thing I had, and I just see that Cam Newton's 3-6 on Thursday. So that can go either way. You can go 4-6 on Thursday or 3-7 for Patriots and
Los Angeles, yeah.
Yeah, so that's tough right there. But I really like the Belichick thing. Really stood out to me.
Can you remember 35 not playing where it was just on one side this week? Because I can't.
35 has been huge all through Thursdays.
Right, so I don't know why anyone would go against that, honestly.
And Jared Goff's 10-6 against the AFC, so if he wins, he'll be 11-6 like Thursday, 1-6. That's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's going for the Rams.
Yeah.
And then just one other thing I seen against Sean McVay, I seen that he can get his 21st loss all time with the day leaving 21 days left. So it's definitely a tough game to me. I kind of like the Pats with the points. To me, this is tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Again,
I'm not really gonna.
The measuring from the anniversary date and all that, and the Super Bowl on the 34th day of the year is interesting. I mean, there are a few things there for the Patriots, but again, to me, the 19-year cycles are the bigger deal. And
Yeah.
So.
And the 67.
What are the odds that it's McVay's 322nd day of his age, and the last time the Rams won was on the 322nd day of the year? You know what I mean? That's like improbable.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out fucking because there's always something. It's like damn, they double coded these shit's tough now. It's like.
Well, that's why, like you said, you even said it out of your own mouth. You said the 35 has crushed this year, and it has. I mean, the 35's been the number on Thursday. That was the first thing I was looking for, and I said, there it is. I only found one, so.
Yeah. Well, what you said, I got Cam Newton on the road. I don't know if I'm getting different stats. I got him 31-35. I use Pro Football Reference.
Yeah, so again, we know Pro Football Reference includes all appearances, so that's probably like if there was a game he didn't start, yeah, he came in for the last pass or something, he could get that credited against him. So.
Yeah, that's tricky. That's bullshit. I don't like that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it, man. I'm going to move on. See you. I think he means well. There's somebody in the community that thinks he's a shill because he calls in every week with like a contrary to whatever I say, and he's usually wrong about the primetime games. I don't think he is a shill, but there is somebody in the community that thinks he is. What's up, caller?
Hey, you remember the 2018 game between the Chiefs and Rams, where it was like a 54-51 final score?
Chiefs and Rams. The crazy game right after the fires too, and then Jared Goff won, and then they came out and said that his dad was a firefighter and all that. I do remember.
Yeah, I noticed that made the Rams 10-1. I think because they were undefeated, they lost to the Chiefs. They made them 10-1, like 101, and then also Mahomes had 46 attempts in that game, passing attempts. And did you say there was a 105 connection for this game?
105 is the 14th triangular. If the Patriots won, they'd be 10-5 versus the Rams.
Interesting. I was looking at the total in that game, which was 105 points.
And you measured from that game to this game?
No, I did not measure. No, I don't know what the measurement is.
I'll just do it real quick just to see. But yeah, that I do remember that game. It was right after the fire, so.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder about a possible Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl this year. You know, if you see something, I'm not sure. But
well, they're both from Missouri originally. Oh, well, not originally, but they've both been in Missouri at the same time. Just thinking if there's anything with there at that. Well, honestly, I'm taking the Chiefs all the way to the Super Bowl for now that the Steelers lost. They did exactly what I wanted to see them do on Monday, so I think it's the Chiefs in the AFC. And honestly, at this point, Chiefs and Rams is possible because what they did with that game where it was prime time and the Patriots played the Rams, the Rams got to 7-3 in that stadium. And it's hard to understand what the symbolism of that is for sure, because is that like paying tribute to Brady, who could get to 7-3 in Super Bowls, or is it tribute to the Los Angeles Dodgers, who equals 73, who did a million 73 rituals? But your thought about Chiefs and Rams is very possible because of that, and because of what you just said. Because I see what you're saying with 10-01 and this being the 101st season, and how the Chiefs became 10-1 in their stadium. So that's a thought. But it could also just be Chiefs, Patriots, Brady, Mahomes, which really does seem like the Super Bowl that they'd want to give everybody. But yeah, the Goff one's not out of the question. So when Goff went to the Super Bowl was 112 days after his birthday as well, and Chiefs and Super Bowl are 112. So that's another possible tie.
Yeah, you also got the Chiefs playing Miami this week, which is, I don't know.
Right, they could fall to 11-2 if they got upset, but I saw Mahomes has some numbers to win. But yeah, that 1-1-2 in Miami's not out of the question. So
I think you just have to look at the LA factor with the Lakers winning and the Dodgers winning, and the possibility of a team from LA being in the Super Bowl.
Well, true, and we also had Tampa win the Stanley Cup and be in the World Series, meaning they won the AL pennant, so that's a championship. But yeah, so. KC, you know what'd be interesting? You know what'd be so interesting? What if they did this? What if they had Mahomes beat Brady in Tampa this year, and then they had Mahomes beat Goff in LA next year to become 4-1 in Super Bowls? And after, because that's just how they do people. It's like all these Super Bowls where there's never been a home team in it, and then back-to-back years it happens. It could be something like that.
Yeah, definitely possible, but I just don't like the fact that Tampa is hosting, and that's why.
But this would be the time to do it, because it's COVID and they don't want people traveling, and then it'd be another big coincidence that for the first time when they could hardly have anybody at the game anyway and everything's shut down, that the home team's there. I mean, that would just be the mockery of it all.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
I hear what you're saying, though. Yes, Chiefs Rams is possible, because your 10-1 observation in that crazy-ass game, you're right. I mean, that could be a signal that they meet in to conclude the 101st season.
It also makes a great narrative, because they can look back at that game and say, oh, there was such a big shootout, and it was like one of the greatest games that we've seen in recent history, and blah, blah, blah.
Hold on, I'm going to measure. I don't know why I didn't measure from that game to the Super Bowl. Let's see how long that is. 811 days. A span of 116 weeks. 811 is an interesting number. That's it's like the Los Angeles number in reverse. Yeah, I'll think more about that. I definitely don't think it's out of the question, because of the fact that they just became 7-3 in that stadium, and 73 is the 21st prime, and the Super Bowl is start 2021. Yeah, it's possible. If I'm putting a little bit here and there on the roulette wheel where I think it might land, I don't think a small little stack right there for now is a bad idea. But in terms of just imagine it, close your eyes and think about it. What's the ratings draw? Brady, Mahomes, or Mahomes, Goff?
Yeah, I think you get probably a little better rating with Brady Mahomes.
Hell yeah, you do. You get a way better rating, man. You get the best one ever when everyone's just having the worst time of their life with the coronavirus at home. So, anyway. Well, but I hear you, man. It's not a bad thought. It could happen. So, it's a great thought. I do appreciate you calling in about it.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, yeah, take care. I just realized my charger, I've had my phone plugged in. I just unplugged it before the show, and the battery's at 18%. That means my charger stopped working. Come on, phone. Okay. Let me come back to the chat here. All right, let's do a vote in the chat. Write out Rams or Patriots based on who you like tonight. I'm leaning Rams because of the 67-19, 322, 35. I'm taking those numbers. I'm not blind to the fact that the Patriots have a narrative, but I just want to see what you guys think. Rams or Patriots? So Rams are 0-2 in interconference games this season. If they won, they'd be 1-2. Los Angeles and Patriots both equal 37 in the most pure cipher, the 12th prime. They'd be 1-2. Well, but Bobby, yeah, I agree. The ritual's stronger than ratings. This is true, but I mean, there's a huge ritual to Mahomes-Brady. Remember, part of the reason we liked Mahomes before last season was because of what they coded in that year of the black quarterback with the Chiefs and Super Bowl and Black History Month. But then the other thing we were saying is how, right after the Super Bowl that Brady won was Super Bowl 53, it was Patrick Mahomes who was on primetime television. I can't remember. It was one of the late night shows. And he was talking about how him and Brady had just had a conversation, and Brady gave him some tips to take it to the next level. So it was kind of like Brady was passing the torch to Mahomes, So, I mean, that's also part of this ongoing story. Caller, what's up? You got to mute your video when you guys call in. Mute your video when you call in. All right. Do not call in unless you mute the video, you guys. It's so annoying. Turn off the video, dial the number, boom. Remember, the video's 30 seconds behind, so... Caller? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up?
No, Zach. Yes, I got... My choice is the Patriots, and my reasoning. So, from the last time they played, which was the Super Bowl, until today is a year, 10 months, 8 days, like 118. And of course, Patriots equals 118. And then McVay is 9-8 in the month of December. He could fall to 9-9, like 99. Last time these two played was in the 99 NFL season, and New England equals 99. Cam could become 7-5 with the Patriots because he didn't play that one game against Kansas City, and he can also pick up his 75th all-time win. And then Belichick could become 15-3, picking up his 15th win on Thursday Night Football. 15-3 is like 153, the 17th triangular number. Bill was 17. McVay and Goff could stay on 20 home wins, McVay could pick up his 20th all-time loss. The 20th prime is 71. Belichick can become 7-1 all-time against the Rams. Jared equals 20 also, and SoFi Stadium equals 71. And then the guy called in about the 35, Cam with the 35 losses on the road all time. That was legit. It would be 36, I think, with if you include the loss against Kansas City, the game he didn't play. But it's 35, though.
Well, in terms of his career starts, he can pick up his 35th career away loss tonight.
True. And Belichick could pick up his 78th win in December. And William Belichick equals 78. Yeah. Those are a few I picked up wanting to share those.
So another question for you. Do you remember a game this year where there was a 35 going against just one team and that 35 didn't play for that team, whether it was a win or a loss? Because I don't remember a single game this year where the 35 wasn't the deciding factor on Thursday, where it was there.
True.
So I don't know why we would go against that. I'm just saying, I mean, that's been the winning stat on Thursday all season.
I go against it because my original pick was Bucks and Patriots in the Super Bowl. I think the Patriots went out. But the last time the Rams beat the Patriots, Tom Brady had 0 rings. So I definitely think the Patriots take it today.
Okay, well, they do have some narratives. The Patriots have the value. I mean, that's the one nice thing about taking the Patriots is that's where the money's at. So,
yeah, that's my feel. I had to share that. Appreciate you, man.
All right, appreciate it, man. Take care. Yeah. Caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach? How you doing today?
Hey, what's up, man?
All right, this is Eric. Hey, I was calling in. I'm with you on the pick for tonight. Seems like the Rams. I mean, just from appearing without Gematria, just a power ranking, like, because you got different guys to handicap. You got, like, the high-level computer guys, then you got, like, number guys who go off, power rankings and stuff like that.
Right.
But just from a, football standpoint, even though we understand it's scripted for the last 7 years, at least since I found your work. But just seemed like, the Rams is just a better team. It's like no way you can convince me that the Pats can beat them without it being scripted. Just just on a football standpoint. So therefore, also on Gematria note, Goff and McVay can both pick up the 42nd win today, career win on the 42 date numerology. That was strong enough for me,
That's true. There is 42 date numerology today. Yeah.
And against the spread, I don't know if these guys who do the thing that use Gematria or not, that be giving out sports picks. I believe some of them know Gematria, but they don't want to give their edge up. That's how they become long-term winners.
Sure.
Because they always giving these arbitrary dates. Like the Pats are, no, not the Pats, but LA Rams are 4-2 in their last 6. So if they win and cover the spread, they'll be 5-2. We know Los Angeles Rams equal 52.
Right.
So, I only mostly play the spread, because, like we talked about before, you don't have to hit every game. As long as you can hit 55%, you can make a killing.
So you're saying if the Rams cover tonight, they become 5-2 against the spread?
5-2 in their last 6 against the spread, and that's like one of the betting trends. Like I use covers and Sports Insight. Rod put me on that. How to look at the money and all of that. And it's just they put these arbitrary dates. Like New England. The Rams are 4-2 in their last 6. So with a win, I'm thinking like, okay, they cover tonight, they'll be 5-2. Los Angeles Rams equal 52. So I kind of like that, and the 67-19 thing. Like we know stuff happened in 19-year cycles. So
yeah, indeed, the 19 thing stands out to me in a huge way.
Yeah, we're on to that. So other observations is just number guys is going to be on the ramp tonight, I believe. Because of the power rankings, some people go off their football database and build these models and stuff, and the Rams just a more powerful team than the Patriots,
Sure. Well, they can script anything they want for any of these games, but I'm just...
Oh, yeah. I definitely understand that, but, they still got to kind of, make the sheep feel, like it's up there.
Right, like there's some rhyme and reason to it. I hear what you're saying. Right. If New England loses tonight, they're also 6 well, if New England does not cover the spread tonight, they're 6-7 against the spread, which is interesting.
And then the spread seems low. It seems like it should be a little higher than 5.
Well, the Rams did the Patriots just did win 45-0 last week, so that's why I think they're having people be like, oh, maybe the Patriots got some momentum tonight, and the Chargers are, Yeah,
the public all on New England. I've seen like 5 or 6 handicappers on YouTube giving out New England. I'm like, take the Rams, cover the spread, easy blowout winner, pretty sure. So if it lose, but it's just one game. So bet the same amount every game. You can't cry about one game. So we get most of them right. So.
Yeah, even though last week wasn't the greatest week, if you count up the way we leaned, we still leaned the right way. It's just 2 of those games that I really liked didn't come through, which hurt. But, yeah. So.
8-6 is a great week. That's 57%. You pick up 2 units. It's like, I don't see how that's not a great.
Sure. Well, you just could have done.
If you betting the same and you ain't got a lot on parlays, it's like.
True.
Parlays, I look at them like lottery tickets. I only put $5-6 on them. Try to win 200,
Exactly. That's the way to play them.
I try to bet those, same amount every game. So
there you go. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. All right, Jack, man. Take care. But yeah, I'm leaning with you tonight. The 67-19 year, they do stuff in 19-year cycles, like they follow the moon and their little rituals. So I think LA had to wait 19 years to beat the Patriots. So
yeah, that's how it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, too.
All right, but I got a bet on them. All right, Zach,
bro. Okay. Yeah. See you, man. And remember, you guys, I just thought about something, too. The moon is what's on the 19-year cycle. That's why they do these 19-year cycles. You see how moon is 57 and 51? Look at Rams. 51, 57. 19-year cycles of the moon. I'll be surprised if that's not it. Caller?
Hey, Zach. How you doing, bud?
What's up, man?
Hey, pal, game, I wanted to point out something to you. There's a lot of these announcers that are on teams that it seems like they're on a lot of underdogs. Now, we'll take tonight's game. We got Aikman and we got Buck on the game. Now, when they're on a game, the majority of the time, the underdog does win outright. Now, not that it happened last week, but I'm just saying, with these two guys on the game, the underdog happens a lot. There's a couple announcers on ESPN that I've been following. One woman named Beth Mowens. I'll give you an example. She was on the first time she was on a pro game, actually last week on the Minnesota Viking game. And, you know, the Jaguars were winning the whole game. We all know the Jaguars are a horrible team, but they almost pulled an upset getting 10 points. Now, the other guy, Rod Gilmore, is another ESPN announcer. He was on the California-Oregon game. And California won outright getting 10 points. It's just...
We like that game. We had a great week in college last week. We like Cal to beat Oregon. They had a good riddle, so...
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, it seems like when these certain commentators are on games, the underdogs, you know, win the majority of the time. And tonight's game, for instance, I see where the money's going. This line opened up with the Rams giving 6.5. Now it's currently down to 4.5. Now, I totally agree with you what you were saying with the Rams, but I'm a little worried about it because money hasn't really been wrong on games like this, like these isolated games. It seems like where the money... Look at a perfect example. Look at the Redskin game. The Steelers opened up at 10 points. The thing went all the way down to 6 points.
Right.
And the Redskins won. And, you know, I'm a little weary about when a line moves like more than 3 points because I'm thinking that there's actually too much money on the team. And maybe it's time to just back off and watch it. So that's what I did. I got scared off of the Redskins. I liked it initially, plus the 10, but I figured, there's so much money bet on them that it's all the way down to 6. Let me just watch it. But, you know, it turns out that the Steelers and Ben kind of just tanked the game in the second half.
Well, that was the ritual. Again, Ron Rivera was the last coach to start 11-0. He got his 81st win. Pittsburgh Steelers 81, Ritual 81, and it preserves the perfect season. And it was all and again, that's who they got the perfect season against Washington. That's how they structure the riddle. That's why I said if Washington wins, that should be your sign that it's not the Steelers aren't going to be in the Super Bowl. It's the riddle from the week before at the Chiefs getting to 10-1 in the Super Bowl stadium in the 101st season. So, but yeah, the point spread did come way down because they had to back off all the money getting put on Washington because they didn't want to pay out all those other people. So, I mean, it makes it makes sense that it came down like that. And yeah, I hear what you're saying though.
I'm just a little worried about. Yeah, just tonight's game. It just seems like there's a lot of money. But at least going on the Patriots, they're kind of...
So that means... Exactly. That means if... Well, and that means that if the Rams win, then, Vegas probably, takes the cake because people are taking the Patriots with that point spread.
Yeah, I think so. And plus the way the Patriots really mopped the floor with that Charger team last week. And, the Rams are kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde team. 1 week they look really good. Another week,
right.
Just Goff throws a couple pickoffs. I don't know. It's tough to trust the Rams when they give points. I mean, they're a good underdog. I mean, they did good last week with the Cardinals, but I'm just a little weary with the Rams giving points. It's just that's all. I mean, if to tell the bettors and everything else, my opinion, I would just say, if you could bet the money line on the Rams, you're not going to get back much, but probably a little safer, or maybe, think about teasing them with somebody else. But just the Rams giving points are just, I don't know, don't feel really comfortable with it.
Sure. I hear you. Exactly. I mean,
I don't know. The Patriots actually, Zach, the Patriots almost got to win out to get in the playoffs. I mean, you got the Dolphins, you got everybody, you got all of these 8 wins. And
if the Patriots do win tonight, I'll say this. If the Patriots win tonight, definitely ride them the rest of the season to win out and finish 10-6, because I would totally get that joke. Black Lives Matter 106. Cam Newton's had some Black Lives Matter rituals already this season. The word black alone's 106. So if the Patriots do win tonight, I do think that they will finish 10-6 and win out. Absolutely. Sneak into the playoffs.
That's what I'm thinking, my friend. And by the way, man, I got to commend you on all the good videos of trying to wake people up. And I do like the video that, that bitch that was in the Post office. I totally agree with you, buddy. I totally agree with you. Yeah, she should be torn feathered, that fucking slob. So yeah, sorry that you had to deal with that, but
no, I was glad it happened. I was glad it happened because I was just like, look, it was just so nice to witness it all. I was like, look at this, now getting thrown out of the store just for being such a dumbass. So a huge life lesson for her.
Hey, you know what, Zach? I don't know what it's going to take with these dumb motherfuckers, man. It's sickening to me that they got no common sense. You know, fucking. I got muscular dystrophy, so to me, it's a little hard for me to breathe anyway. So I'm not putting no fucking mask on anyway, even if I could breathe right. But you know, just seeing all of these ex-clowns, you know, wearing a mask, taking orders from these pedophile politicians, pieces of shit, and it's amazing to me. And what's also amazing, not to get off this subject and mess up all the people that are listening, but this Biden is such a low-life motherfucker, this guy with his son, all of the crap that this guy did. If that was me and you, we'd be on the ground getting tasered, the shit beat out of us. I'd have to worry about Leroy with his chin on my fucking back and ass fucked in daylight. You know what I mean?
Indeed, man.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be brutal. I don't mean to be offensive. So I'm sorry for everybody that's listening a bit.
Well, I'm sure they're fine because most of them listen to me, so I doubt you're offending anyone. All right, man.
This is crazy. But I commend you, brother. I just wanted to, you know, give my 2 cents on today's game. And Zach, the one thing I wanted to ask you, buddy, because the Bills have a little bit of a narrative, and I know Josh Allen has a few narratives and his grandmother dying and everything that happened earlier in the year. And I'm just thinking the Bills, who kind of shit the bed in the 4 Super Bowls that they were in, they're kind of playing good football right now, and they're kind of like the one team I'm worried about that nobody's talking about that could be the dark horse. I just wanted to get your opinion.
It's just like earlier this year, somebody called in and said it's going to be the Bills' year, and they thought they were going to beat the Chiefs before they play them. I said, no, the Chiefs will win this game, and it's not going to be Josh Allen. He doesn't have enough star power. The thing I'm cheering for, I'm pretty sure that Mahomes will win the Super Bowl this year, and if he does, I'm telling you, everybody better greenlight the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl next year, because if they win this year, it's a done deal. They will become 4-1 in Super Bowls in L.A. next year. It's all about Kobe. His death at age 41, and then Mahomes winning the Super Bowl the next Sunday. So he'll be the first player to three-peat in the Super Bowl if he wins it this year. I'm pretty sure that's the script.
That'd be awesome.
So.
Okay, no, sounds good, Zach. Well, I appreciate your time, buddy. Keep up the good work, and hopefully more people will wake the fuck up.
Indeed, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Yeah, see you.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm cheering for the Chiefs all the way, and realize they'd get to 3-1 in Super Bowls if they won this year, just like how they won last year's Super Bowl with 31, and Chiefs is 31, and 31's the 11th prime, and Black's 11, and it's the era of the black quarterback, that article to start the season. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? I wanted to see what you think tonight. Do you think, I know New England's out, they're in the Boston market. Boston equals 85. Do you think that could play tonight against the Rams?
That is a thought with the 85. If they were playing in Boston, I probably would have had that up there on the notes. I used to always write that down because Brady's 85, Boston's 85. National Football League is 85 as well. Yeah, I'm having trouble going against the 67-19 thing. I think that's what it is. So.
You know something else? There's articles on the internet right now. Claiming that Belichick saying that this isn't like a regular road game. This is more like a home game because they didn't have to travel. And when you put like a home game in the Gematria calculator, it comes up to 105. And they're currently sitting all time at 9-5.
Yeah, they could get to 10-5. That is interesting because 105 is the 14th triangular number. It's week 14, so that is interesting.
Yes. And it's also, I think, like a home game equals 66, like Belichick's age.
Oh, and just like how he became 6-6 on the 6th, like how he got his 6th championship at age 66. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Something else about the last caller with the Bills, I kind of got the same feeling too. Like, I put their owner's name in the Gematria calculator last week, and Purist Cipher, their owner, came out to 201. The second Purist Cipher, they were 102. Okay. His full name is Terrence Michael Pagula.
Sure. Sure. I'm sure he's in the Jesuit connection. I mean, I guess that has been a big number this year, so.
And also the Buffalo Bills, if you type their name in the Gematria calculator, they have the Super Bowl date, like 27 or 72.
Yeah,
And
they got that
like
72 connection.
Yeah, and even like the 117, if you add the ones up, you could like get your 27 with that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So much points to the game. Not saying they're going to win it. They can get there and lose it, but it's just interesting to see everything going on with them and all their success, you know.
Sure. I think they will beat the Steelers this week to become 10-3. Steelers is 103. So I do have the Bills winning this week. I like them to beat the Steelers. Steelers probably lose the next two and fall to 11-3. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. So.
Yeah, one thing when I say the Bills, have a successful season, I mean, they're being scripted to have one. I'm not saying they're
sure.
Stuff's organic because we know it's not. So.
Sure. Yeah, it's just I don't see him in the Super Bowl over Patrick Mahomes is all. Especially after Mahomes became 10-1 in Tampa Bay. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's one of those things you just keep your eye on it. But Mahomes definitely looks like he's gonna have another year. So we'll see, man. I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah, see you. Caller.
Oh, hey, Zach, it's John.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, good thought on Cleveland in 13. That was exactly what it was, man. They couldn't have made it any more 13.
Oh man, yeah, it just worked out. Who knows how they got it scripted, but I just seen that. The other thing with the Colt McCoy, this is kind of off topic, but he hadn't. They said the announcer right before the game started with the Giants and the Seahawks. He says Colt McCoy hasn't won a regular season game in 6 years. I was like, oh damn.
13, the sixth rhyme.
Yeah, and then when I looked up his stats under Pro Football Reference, I wish I would have just looked it up. I didn't lose I did take Seattle on a money line with a parlay, but I didn't put much on it just because it was a ridiculous parlay anyway. But Colt McCoy, the last time he won his regular season game, he was with the Redskins, and he only started 4 games that season, and he finished 1-3 that season.
Okay.
I was like, my God, how do they script this stuff like that?
He avoided his 13th loss by not losing. So
that's crazy, man.
That's why I thought that when the score started 5-0, I was like, God, don't tell me the Seahawks are going to win with 43 points because they started off 5-0 in Super Bowl 48 as well. Just that super rare score, and I can't believe they ended up losing after they haven't even start the same way as Super Bowl 48. So.
Oh man, yeah, tonight's game is tough, man. It is tough, man. It's I like your thinking on it and the numbers, the way they all line up. I'm torn on it. The one thing I can't. As far as the 6 and 7, if the Patriots did lose, I think that Jared Goff equals.
His full name is 67. His full name is 67.
Yeah. And I think, like you said before, I think LA Rams is 19 also.
Oh, it would be, yeah, because Rams is 15 and LA is 4 the small way. Yeah, that would be 19.
Yeah.
That's a good point about LA Rams in 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be the most pure cipher.
Yeah. I'm just seeing numbers go both ways. This game is crazy.
That's how it always is on Thursday. That's why I started off by looking for the 35. I was just like, where's the 35 at? I was like, there it is. Cam Newton gets 35th away loss. I know I'm not wrong about that. If the 35's just been on one side, that's the way every single game's gone this year on Thursday Night Football. So.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe live betting the game because I was listening to a sports show earlier, and an announcer just came out with this ridiculous stat. He said, "Oh, by the way, under McVay, the Rams are they're 33-0 when they lead at halftime. So that's another possible 67 they could play. If I see that the Rams are ahead after halftime, if they end up losing the game, they'd be 33-1 under McVay, the 67th prime. It's just weird that he came out with that 33 stat like that. I'm like,
That is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I think Bill Belichick, I think he has like a 34. He has a 34 span. I think it's like 34 weeks since his past birthday or something on the nose.
His birthday is April 16th, the 100. You know what? His birthday is the 106th day of the year. If the Patriots did win out, they would be 10-6. That's kind of interesting. Hold on. I know his birthday off the top of my head. It's April 16th, 52, because Prophecy's 52 and 106. I've been talking about that with him for a long time. Let's see. April 16th to today. Let's see. It's 238 days after his birthday. That reminds me of Kobe Bryant, 23-8. Yeah, it's exactly 34 weeks, and both times the Patriots and Rams did play in the Super Bowl, it was the 34th day of the year, and that is one thing that's there for the Patriots, is getting to 3-4 away. So, the only way I would take the Patriots tonight, even with all this stuff, that there are some things there for them. The only way I would play them is just like in a small parlay with some other games that look good for this weekend to try to get the payout advantage, but I think it's too risky to put much on them with what the Rams have on the board. Again, the 35's been the silver bullet all year. Because, I mean, there's like that. Remember when Fitzpatrick won? It was like everything lined up for the other team. The only thing that was there for Fitzpatrick was the 35. And that's all that mattered. I was like, look at everything that didn't come through, and then Fitzpatrick just gets 35. So.
Yeah, that's the thing that worries me is like as your previous caller that called in, he said, you know, you got these commentators, most of them on ESPN are with the Patriots. Like Colin Cowherd says, I'm taking the point. He keeps saying it over and over. I'm taking the points with the Patriots. And then Shannon Sharp earlier on ESPN, he bet against Skip Bayless. Oh, I'm taking the Patriots with the points. And so normally they say that's a bad sign normally. And then all the public money is going. Most of the public money is on the Patriots. The last time I looked on OddsShark.
And that's exactly what they do week after week. Tell the public to do something, they follow, and then they get their money taken, and they come right back because they're under mind control.
So we got the commentators, most of them on one side with the underdog. We got most of the public money on the underdog, and so that kind of worries me taking the Patriots. But then again, the one thing I can't get past of the Patriots is we can't forget the narratives and the talking points that started the whole season. Well, who's more responsible for the Patriots' success, Bill Belichick or Tom Brady? And so I could just see if the Patriots did end up winning somehow, you know, they'd be right on the coattails of Tampa Bay. You know, they'd be 7-6, Tampa Bay 7-5. They'd be waiting for Tampa Bay maybe to slip up, maybe one more game. You know?
Oh, sure. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean, that's just from a talking point narrative point of view, is I could just see them riding that till the rest of the season. And then when you look at the Patriots' schedule, I mean, you know, they lost to the Bills earlier, but who knows? Maybe they split with the Bills. If they, like I say, if they go on a run and in 10-6, and they've already beat Miami and the Jets. I mean, that's almost a foregone conclusion. You never know, but it just seems like. Yeah, those two things are kind of going to Patriots. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one, man.
I'll tell you what, if the Patriots win tonight, I really would take the Patriots the last 3 games of the season, because 106 has just been in so many rituals this year. And I got to admit, the one thing that does, the best thing to me for the Patriots is them getting to 7-6, because I've talked about that number since before the football season. We were talking about that number all last year. Mahomes' deal on 7-6. It's that Act 7-6 thing, but if the Patriots win tonight, I definitely would take them the 3 remaining games this year to get to 10-6, because 106 has been huge. Black Lives Matter 106, Black 106, then I'll get the big joke, and it would be a comeback narrative. So, yeah, if the Patriots win tonight,
them starting the game, yeah, it's like, and then when you look at the other divisional games, the other teams in the division that play for the rest of the Week 14, you got Miami playing Kansas City, and then you have Buffalo playing Pittsburgh. So, I mean, those are 2 tough games for both of those divisional opponents. So I could kind of see where they could try to make it seem like, oh, here come the Patriots. You know, one of them 2 slipping up, maybe.
I don't think the Bills will lose this week. I think the Bills will get to 10-3 against the Steelers. The Steelers like that 103. Their owner died on the 103rd day of the year not long ago. So I think the Bills will be 10-3 after the Steelers game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but that's another thing, is that it just seems like they always want to keep divisions tight and competitive. And it just seems like I don't know if they're going to throw the Patriots, because if the Patriots lose tonight, they're pretty much out of the playoffs. I mean, it'd be hard for them to get in. And it just seems like they would at least want to keep them hanging around. You know what I'm saying? From a competitive standpoint, hanging around and having a chance.
Well, they're going to have 7 teams this year. 7 teams. If the Patriots lost tonight, they could still finish 9-7. And you know what? That's probably actually the record. I bet you that's the record they finish with. Now that I think about it, I got to go back and I know that part of Cam Newton when he was signed, it was like hold on, let me measure this. I think Cam Newton was released on Peyton Manning's birthday, March 24th, and of course he lost to Peyton Manning in Super Bowl 50, which was on February 7th, just like this year's Super Bowl. And then he was signed on June 28th. Yep. So look at this. From the day that Cam Newton was released by the Panthers to the day that he was signed was a span of 97 days. And if you write out Black Panther Party, it's 97. And I'm thinking more about it. Okay, Belichick, Bill Belichick equals 97. Bill Belichick equals 97. That's the 25th prime.
Yep.
He won the 97th NFL season over the Falcons with a 25-point comeback on 2/5, and they moved the kickoff to 25. They moved the kickoff to the touchback to 25 yards that year. So I bet you that's what they do. 9-7.
I got something to blow your mind on that talking point. I got something that'll blow your mind. Go to the Gematriator, pull it up right now. Look at the date numerology of the last game of the regular season this year.
January 3rd?
I believe it. Yeah, look at the date numerologies. 99, 77, 25.
Is it January 3rd? It would be a 9 date if it was.
It's January 3rd is the last game of the regular season.
Yeah, it's a date with 9 numerology, so they could get their 9th win that day.
Double 9 and 7.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Double
I see what you're
25.
saying. Yeah, so
There's a double 25 there too.
And think about that. New England equals 45, the 9th triangular. So, looking at the Patriots' schedule, they could easily beat the Dolphins in their next game division. They could easily beat the Bills division matchups and beat the Jets. Because they've shown that they can flash this year. But yeah, I'm thinking the Patriots are going to win 3 out of the last 4 to finish 9-7. Because again, Cam Newton released and signed a span of 97 days. The number connects to Bill Belichick, Black Panther Party, and you're right. The season ends on the 9 date, so that makes a lot of sense.
But you're saying, you're saying they changed the format to where there's 7 teams now from each conference.
Right.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. That must have been this year.
We've been talking about that since the beginning of the season because that's why we got to watch out for the 7 this year with them making that 7 change and Brady chasing 7, and then that's why I started thinking, well, I guess the Steelers are chasing 7 too. So.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Another interesting thing in the football is that was the NFC East division. If the Giants win out, they'd be 9-7 on that very day. Last game, and then Giants is 25 too. But then you got the Redskins with their, their feel-good stories of Rivera having cancer and Alex Smith coming back from his injury.
I can't imagine the Giants winning out. Who do they play? I just can't imagine it happening.
Yeah, they play the Browns. They play the Ravens. I don't see it.
No.
But they're all of a sudden they're talking about, they got the defense. This is a real team. And the Giants stink, man. They sunk all year. Now they're trying to act like they're somebody. Get out of here with the Giants.
Right. They just that's why the NFL's a joke, man.
And then nobody can catch a ball. Like Russell Wilson he couldn't throw a pass, dropping back 20 yards, standing in the middle of the pocket like a damn duck for 6 seconds to get sacked 6 times. It's so ridiculous, man.
It is, man.
He can't run. He can't throw a pass. They got this lockdown D all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know it, man. Okay, hold on. I'm just thinking, though, seriously about who's in the playoffs right now. The Bills are in the playoffs. The Steelers are in the playoffs. The Chiefs are in the playoffs. That's 3 teams, so we have 4 spots remaining. I mean, looking at who's next, the Browns look like the Browns ending their... When was the last time the Browns were in the playoffs? 13 years ago? Or was that just the last time they had a winning season?
Last time they had a winning season was 13.
We got to figure out the last time they were in the playoffs.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out.
They're right there in the mix, though. Titans and Colts could both very well make it. That would be 7.
Ravens have a shot, don't they?
The Ravens absolutely have a shot. Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
But a 9-7 record will probably make it, honestly. 9-7, so the Patriots can definitely hit that.
Wow.
They got to win 3 out of the last 4.
It's just hard. I mean, it just seems like every time there's a tight riddle like this, like tonight, I'm usually on the wrong side of it.
Me too, and it's always like, how did it? But there's no way I could logically go against 35. We've isolated that as a very good pattern on Thursday this season. So it's just like, it's there, and it's not on both sides. It's only on one side. Plus, the whole 19-year thing is just making too much sense to me too. And if the Rams get to 9-4, huh?
What is it about that 19? What was you saying about the 19-year thing? What was going on with that?
I know you don't follow my other work at all. My whole book's about 19-year cycles, man. Everything's 19-year cycle.
I'm saying you were saying something about there's a record. I understand the 19 cycle, but I'm talking about you're saying that the Rams have some kind of 19-year record they can think of. Or something.
They haven't beat the Patriots for 19 years. The last time they beat the Patriots was the 322nd day of the year, 19 years ago, and today's McVay's 322nd day of his age.
Oh, wow. That is an amazing stat.
And then
is crazy.
And 67's the 19th prime. And look, the Patriots are 6-7 with a loss, and the Rams are 6-7 against the Patriots in the regular season with a win. And it's like 67 the 19th prime. Plus LA Rams is 19, and then the other big thing is Moon. Moon equals 51-57. Rams equals 51-57. It's the Moon that's on the 19-year cycle.
Wow. Yeah, that's that. You know what? I'm staying the hell away from this game. You just said I was going to put some money on the Patriots, but now that you said that, I'm like, nah. I'm just gonna be content to listen to the game and see how it plays out. That's the way I'm doing it tonight. Save that bet for something else during the week. I'm glad you told me that, because that's just an amazing stat.
That's why I started with that. That's how I started the live stream. I said, what are the odds of that? That's improbable. The last time they won's on the 322nd day of the year, 19 years ago, and now you have this 19 pattern, and it's McVay's 322nd day of his age, and it's only his 322nd day of his age because it's the primetime game. It wouldn't work out that way on Sunday. So.
Wow, that is amazing. Like, even if the Patriots win, I'll be like, oh well, man, I wish I would have bet them. Hell, I don't give a damn. I'm not going to get.
Well, the thing about the Patriots is there is value there, and if they are going to finish 3 out of their last 4, I mean, to me personally, I'm not betting more than $5 on the Patriots tonight, and I'm just doing it in a parlay and just trying to do like a $5 bet that pays over 100. To me, that's the only way it's worth it, because there's just too much there with the Rams for that riddle. So
there's a lot there. Yeah.
And again, the 35, I keep reminding everybody, the 35 is what's killed on Thursday. I don't know how you can go against it in Week 14 when we've been documenting it all year. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough, man. Now with that stat, I mean that thing, man. I wasn't listening too well, because I heard you say something about I came in kind of late after you started. I had already started. Like I came in and you already started your live stream, so I got like in the middle what you were saying about that 19-year thing with the Rams. So now I get it. I'm like, wow, 322. That's just too strong, man.
And if the Patriots lose, they're 4-3 at the Rams, like 43 the 14th prime. November 18th, the last time they won's the 322nd day of the year, leaving 43 remaining. So,
wow, that's too much. It's too much there for me to try to put money on the other side. I'm sorry. I'll just be content to listen.
Yeah.
Man, the other thing I saw was that California's that big 52 number for reduction, and I was thinking that maybe they can hit 5 and 2 that way. There's another span with Bill Belichick. I think maybe his upcoming birthday was like 52. Span of 50. It was some span with Bill Belichick, but it doesn't pan out. It doesn't equal up with the 322 and the 19-year drought. I can't go against that. I'm just not going to bet. I'm not betting this game.
As we're saying this out loud, I just remember one more thing I need to check. Chadwick Boseman died 97 days after the Black Panther director's birthday, and again, Black Panther Party's 97, and since he died in L.A., and we know how that was all synced up with sports and the Dodgers. He died August 28th. I just want to see how many days it is from that to today's game. It's 104 days or a span of 105 days. That fucking trips me out, man. 105 is the 14th triangular, and that's the thing. That's the thing that goes for the Patriots. If they win, they're 10-5 against the Rams all time. I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a college game.
There's a college game going on tonight with the with the same like somebody's leading 9-5 in the series, just like the Patriots.
What they're doing, I just can't believe what they do with these games anymore. I'm like, how the fuck are they scripting this shit like this? It's impossible. It was never like this 4 years ago. There was nothing like this. It would have just been crystal clear. But it blows my mind. It's like, how is everything? It's just like I can't believe the way they line up everything now. So
they make everything so cloudy and murky to where you can't really see. You know what I mean?
Well, just like the other week with who were the Jets? It was the Jets and the Patriots, and it was like that 68 riddle was there, 68 days from Flacco's birthday, but then there was the election thing about the 5 and 9 if the Patriots won, and then the Patriots come back and barely win it. Jets covered, but it's just
68 with Flacco could have either played either way. I'm like, man, that's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes. It's tough most of the time, really.
I just know 35 has been the silver bullet on Thursday, and I'm still coming back to that. But wow, I can't believe it's a span of 105 days from Bozeman's death. That's crazy.
Man, yeah, I think you may have. Either way it goes, I'm just glad the information's there, because who in the world's gonna? I mean, I seen the 322, the span of days from his birthday, but I didn't have all the information to connect the history of it, the 19 drought and and all that other stuff. That's why this information is so great. It can actually save you money sometimes. And even if the Patriots end up winning, it's like, well, it was too close to call anyway. I really don't give a damn. There's a better riddle down the road somewhere else.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna play conservative like that. Some people say, "Oh, you got to choose. You can't make no money." Well, I've come to learn, betting on games the past couple of years, betting on every game can get pretty expensive.
Yeah, unless you're feeling it. So yeah.
Yeah, just wait for the strongest riddles, and then bet the strongest riddles. Hell, with the 19-year drought, I mean, where are they 4.5 now? The Rams 4.5 point favorites. They got bet down from 6.5.
Yeah.
I'm a dog guy. I'm biased towards the dog. So.
Well, that's where all the value is. I mean, I feel like everybody's probably that way. At the end of the day, everybody wants the value. So.
Yeah, I think people are, but yeah. I say this way. I mean, if we're gonna go by the numbers and go with the gematria stuff, just bet the strongest riddles strongly. Wait for the strong riddles. When we see something like Father's Daughter's Day bullshit,
right? Jackie Robinson funeral.
It just hammer their ass.
Yeah, that's.
And if that's what I do, man.
Or also the real-time betting strategies too. You see, like, because I mean, just imagine this scenario. It's late in the game. It's 3rd and 12. There's 19 seconds on the clock. If they can convert the first down and get 15 yards up the field, they'll be in field goal range to score the field goal that'll make it 67 total points. I mean, that's where in the real-time bet you can be like, okay, they're going to get this field goal here. I see it with the timeout on 19 seconds. I see it. And then, boom, it is. I mean, you see, that's how I always wake up Sweet Lady. When I just point out those things, she's like, okay, yeah, you're right. They end up putting a stat on the screen with the exact number you're talking about 2 seconds later, so.
Yeah, that's another way. I might play it tonight. Listen to the commentators during the game. If they come out with some 19 bullcrap stat or some 3-2-2, or they try to mirror it with some 2-2-3 stat, then that's when you just put in a bet on their ass,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
All right, man. Great work, man. Great work. Keep up the good work. Don't lose faith. I mean,
but here's what you got to be right now. We see that they're still rigging the games. It's just they're switching shit up. I don't know if they're flipping stuff or just they figured out some new double coding method that we still need to figure out. But it's obvious that it's still the same knowledge. It's just some of the shit that used to be rock solid is just not. So you got to be more cautious. Instead of, again, a gentleman in the community, he structured one huge bet last week. And he felt rock solid about it, but one game missed, and he lost all this money, and he really didn't feel like he was going to lose. And again, I had to remind that gentleman, it's like, you don't have to bet that much to win that much. Because it's just like the day before. There was a guy who won on a 1,000, I think 1,000's a lot to bet, but he bet 1,000 and won 35,000 on college football because he took the 3 upsets that I liked. He took the 11-point dog Stanford, the 9.5-point dog Cal, and TCU the dog, because all 3 of those teams had awesome riddles, and I'm sure that guy has some money if he can can wager 1,000 on a bet. But that was, if you're going to bet $1,000 on a 3-team parlay, that was not a bad way to do it, because all those teams had awesome riddles. And again, to get $35,000 if you're going to wager 1,000, well, he did it last week. So,
Wow.
you know,
Hell of a bet.
I mean, and realize you don't have to bet $1,000. If you would have bet $10, it would have paid $350. My man last week who lost what was a lot of money to him, $400 on what he felt rock solid about, that payout was only going to be a little more than $400 anyway. He could have made the same kind of bet for $10 and got almost the same type of payout without risking as much. That's why you guys got to be smart with this knowledge.
Be smart, yeah. Money management, you know, long term. Like you say, the tortoise or the hare.
I feel bad because it was the Seahawks that fucked him last week, and I feel really bad about that because I felt really good about the Seahawks too. But still, if you can wager $400 to make essentially $400, or you can wager $10 to make essentially $400, obviously make the $10 bet because you have 40 bets like that to make. That means with your $400 worth of bets, theoretically, if you hit on all those, you'd turn your $400 into 2 houses. But so. You know,
be smart. It's money management. You know, people get caught up. That's the other rule of thumb I've really been sticking to. Is you don't, under any one game or event, you don't want to risk more than 10% of your entire gambling bankroll. That's just the rule of thumb.
I hear you guys say that. To me, that's a lot. To me, that's a lot to risk. If because that's like saying that you have $1,000 to your name and you're going to risk 100 of it. You know, that to me that's a large percentage. Like, to me, if I only had $1,000, I'd probably never make bets more.
It's large, yeah.
I'd probably never make bets at a time that were worth more than 1% of my net worth. That means if I was worth $1,000, I'd be making bets worth $10, and of course on my $10 bets, I'd be trying to make $100 off each of those $10 bets, because you can do that with this knowledge.
Yeah. Hey, that's a large percent, but it's sure a hell of a lot better than going all in and
giving all of it.
When like somebody you did, like that guy you just talked about. I mean. It keeps you a little more level-headed than going crazy, betting half your bankroll. And
just another story from this community. There was a gentleman. He was already wealthy. He was a dentist, and he made over $300,000 when the Patriots beat the Rams. And he gave me a $1,200 tip, which my sweet lady, she said, that's not much of a tip for winning over $350,000, because he wrote that in the letter. Really? I said, but still, it's $1,200, and I just feel good that. But it was the rich getting richer, honestly. But the thing was, when he won all that money, then we got the idea. Then he won more on Tiger on the Masters, so he was getting rich. But then we got this idea, we were like, wow, look at this. Tiger is like 300 to 1 to do something that hasn't been done in all these years, and there was a perfect riddle there. Well, that gentleman went to Vegas, and he placed several separate $20,000 bets on Tiger hitting this 300 to 1 odds thing, and he brought those odds down to like something close to 100 to 1 by himself, just because of how much money he invested into the possibility of Tiger hitting this improbable thing. Well, it didn't even happen, so he gave back a ton of money to Vegas. But at the same time, a part of me wonders if he had not gone down to Vegas and because he would have won several $1 million if Tiger hit that grand slam, which paid 300 to 1 at the start, and it felt like the riddle was there. But God, I mean, that wasn't something you had to go bet $100,000 on to win, because I part of me just wonders if that had not happened, if Tiger would have got the grand slam that year, just because the riddle looked so perfect. But anyway, I mean, again,
you're definitely having the work, all this, people's awareness, the information is definitely having an effect on them. They're having to switch up the way they normally do things, that's for sure.
Here's a real story, you guys. So this is a real story. So I actually went down to Vegas to bet on Tiger for the Grand Slam, and I didn't. I just bet on different things while I was down there, and here's why I didn't do it. Because when I walked up to the window to place the bet, the guy goes, "Holy shit, say Truth Seeker." And I said, "Oh, fuck." I said, "You recognize me from YouTube, huh?" He goes, "We all know you around here. We watch your videos." It was shortly after I just done that Damian Lillard long three-pointer shot, because he was talking about that video. He's like, "That video is fucking awesome. I love your rant." And I was like, "That's funny, man." But he said, he goes, "You know what? I'm not supposed to say this," but he said, "There was a guy that we just turned away who was trying to bet another 20 G's on the Tiger Woods Grand Slam." And he said this guy's been going around casinos around town. He said they denied he already bet 20,000 there, and they rejected his second bet so they wouldn't even take his money for the second bet. And the guy only shared this shit with me at the window because he recognized me. And then it turned out that the gentleman who was placing that bet was the same dentist who's in this community who follows my work. So this is also what I mean, you guys, about why maybe things aren't as good as they used to be. There's a lot of people over the years who've learned from me. There's some people who are high rollers in this community. They're probably seeing things the same way I am. And there's people out in the world that could be the reason that the Seahawks didn't win last week. This type of thing. So I almost feel like I just need to put out the knowledge and teach the knowledge and put the numbers out there and let people make up their own mind. But something is definitely different now than it was 4 years ago. So
yeah, it could be the mockery of just the COVID season, and just look how they do the Browns. They suck forever, and now all of a sudden they have a winning season, and their fans can't even see it. It's just so stupid and retarded.
Well, and last year they duped everybody to betting all their money on the Browns for the Super Bowl somehow, and then this year no talk about them, and they play well. So
yeah, what's going on with the Saints, man? Like it's just kind of too.
Well, Drew Brees, the thing we said about the start of the season.
Remember how they were huge favorites? You remember how they were huge favorites a few years ago? Not even too long ago, to win the Super Bowl preseason, and everybody was putting money on the Saints, and then he got hurt, and then they switched out the quarterbacks, and it's like the same.
That was last year. That was last year.
That was last year?
That was last year where Bridgewater.
What's the chances?
Well, Drew Brees is going to turn 42 years old right before the Super Bowl, and he's 41 this season, and the Super Bowl is 41, and NOLA's 42, and LSU won the championship with 42 at the start of the year, and Louisiana does equal 101. It is the 101st NFL season. That's why the college football game to watch tomorrow, I mean, the Saints are a team to think about. That Louisiana Coastal Carolina game tomorrow, where's it at? Whoa. The ad took over. Hold on, where is the Louisiana? That is so weird. Okay, that's going to annoy me. Hold on, I'm scrolling for that Louisiana game. Louisiana, Coastal Carolina.
It's just kind of crazy how the same is just, come on, man, really? Who believes this crap, man?
Oh, wait a minute.
That was fake as hell.
Oh, shit. Louisiana must be on a bye week. I saw Louisiana's next opponent was Coastal Carolina, which it is. But Coastal Carolina plays this week, and Louisiana doesn't, apparently. This whole time I was thinking they could become 10-1 against each other, but all right, never mind. Disregard what I was thinking there. Must be next week's game. Yeah, the Saints got the Catholic symbolism and the big Catholic ear, so that's the other thing for the Saints just on the surface. Here it is.
I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous, though. It's like, okay, they do the same script. He gets hurt right on time, and then they have the backup come in. It's just, the scripting is just, I don't know how people can't see that crap, man.
Indeed. Last year was the ultimate mockery when he got hurt against Aaron Donald, because they showed it in super slow-mo and from every angle, and you could see that his thumb wasn't impacted anywhere. But I was glad they did that, because then it set up Bridgewater, and Bridgewater had those perfect riddles. Bridgewater was great for us when he came in. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate it, John.
All right, man. Have a good one,
All
man.
right. Yeah, see you. All right, last call right here. What's up, Connecticut?
Zach, I'm working. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What's up?
I haven't seen the whole live stream, but I wanted to bring up a 43 ritual.
Okay.
You remember the Patriots last year, September 15th, 2019. It was 43 days after Tom Brady's birthday. They beat the Miami Dolphins, who equal 43 to nothing.
Right.
So I've seen a ton of New England Patriots 43 rituals, but it seems like it might be synced up with the Super Bowl if they win.
The Patriots.
I don't think the Patriots are going to win, and I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. But if they do win, there's a very potential Tom Brady, New England Patriots, Tampa Bay ritual lined up.
Okay, what do you see?
So I don't have my notes on me again. I'm working, but it's all lined up with that 43 to nothing.
Well, here we'll do our live stream Saturday. Call us Saturday with your notes, and we'll talk about it.
So I actually told you that I was going to tell you my ground Decode a couple months ago, and my job wanted me to wear a mask, and I never went back, and they took my laptop with all my notes. But it goes back to the Miami Miracle, which was synced up to Rob Gronkowski's retirement, which was synced up with Miami in the Super Bowl last year, and then Tom Brady went to Tampa this year. It's a whole big mess. I don't have all the numbers, but if you want to look into it, it's pretty good.
Okay. I'll go back and measure from that game. I remember that game very well. Gronkowski was on defense.
Remember the day that Rob Gronkowski came back from retirement this year to the Super Bowl.
Okay. I'll do that as well.
All right, you're the man, Zach.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
All right, appreciate it. Take care. Caller?
Yeah, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
I just want to make a couple of probably meaningless observations again, but do you know on this date that Martin Luther King 56 years ago accepted the Nobel Peace Prize? If that's at all has anything to do with anything. Probably not, but
I'm just thinking about today. Today leaves 21 days left in the year. Peace equals 21.
yeah.
Peace is, well, you know what's weird? The word peace is 105, like 105, the 14th triangular number. We keep seeing some 105s. 105 is probably the best number going for the Patriots today is 105.
Well, that's why I mentioned this, because the date numerology on December 10th, 1964 is 105, top number.
Wow, what a perfect day for a Peace Prize.
Yeah, Obama also received it in 2009. But the other thing I wanted to mention was the Rams are doing this charity thing. It's called My Claws, My Cleats, where they wear these special kinds of cleats to represent their charities or something.
Okay.
My Claws, My Cleats equals 85.
I see that, like National Football League and like Boston.
Well, also like the head-to-head record that they could get, and the Rams could drop to 8-5 as well with a loss.
That's true, because if the Patriots won, they'd be 8-5 versus the Rams.
Yeah. So those two things I wanted to mention. Also,
Is that something they're doing just tonight? Hold on, is that something that's going on tonight, or just something they've been doing?
I think it's something. I don't remember. Many teams I think have done it, but the Rams are doing it tonight for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know what the history of this thing is, but I thought it was something only the. No, I think many players did. Have done this, but there was an article that specifically said they're doing it for tonight's game.
Okay. I had to look at something else too. The Rams can get to 9-4, which would go with the Skull and Bones theme. Again, George Herbert Walker Bush, Skull and Bones member, died at 94. This year, Bill Gates' father died at age 94, 322 days after Bill Gates' birthday. I just had to measure from Bush's birthday to today to see if there was anything going on with that. And it's interesting that it's 741 days later. If you look up the number 741, you'll find that there's a lot written about this number on the internet. It's called the number of Lucifer. It's the 38th triangular number, and Lucifer equals 38 as well. And I'm just like, is there what would there be about that with tonight's game? Is there a 38? Is there a 38 in this game? I'm scanning right now to see if I see a 38 anywhere, or a 38 or anything like that. But I just know that I've seen some 94s with Skull and Bone stuff, because again, the last time the Rams won was the 322nd day of the year, 19 years ago, back when his son was president.
Yeah.
And today's
I didn't
McVay's
know that.
300.
I've been playing the Patriots since they gave them a 10.1% chance of making the playoffs back when they were 2-5. And now
that would go.
There's an ESPN.
I was just gonna say that would go with them finishing 9-7, 97 the 25th prime. So I think they have a good shot to finish 9-7. That would be encouraging for them to possibly win tonight, just because they got to win 3 out of their last 4 to do that. But
Right, that's not fun.
Newton can get his 38th all-time away loss tonight, so I see that. There's a 38th that could go against Newton as well. 35th regular season loss or 38th all-time away loss.
Now, doesn't Week 15 equal 58 full reduction?
It's Week 14, and it's Week 14 right now. NFL.
Yeah, Week 14 equals 58 if you spell it out, just like Huey P. Newton does.
It does. Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Today they have an article on ESPN that's giving the New England Patriots a 13.1 chance of making the playoffs at this point.
Funny.
So, I mean, but anyway, I just wanted to point that stuff out. Oh, one last thing is that some guy, Ray Perkins, died. He was a coach for Alabama. Did you see that? He also hired Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells. He also was with the Giants when he left the Giants before they started their Super Bowl run there.
When did he die? Ray Allen? Like the basketball?
He died. Ray Perkins. He died yesterday.
Oh, Ray Perkins.
At 79, and he played with he was a coach for Alabama, and he also coached the Giants, and he hired Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells, I read in that article. He died at 79.
Okay, he died on a date with 41 numerology, 61 numerology. I wonder how many days. I know the college championship's scheduled for January 11th. I just want to see. January 11th, 2021. He died 33 days before the college championship. Yeah, I'll look more into that. I'm sure there's something going on with that. Again, I expect Alabama to be in that championship game because of the ritual Saban did earlier, so it could be about that.
Yeah. Okay, when are you doing your college football? Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Same time?
Yeah, about the same time.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. All right, see you, man.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, fine. One more call. Caller?
Hey, Zach. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's Rich. I got a good scoop on some Kobe. Connection. You know how Jared Goff is on 41 wins, 25 losses. And right now he's currently 26, 1 month and 26 days old.
Okay.
And again, he's from LA. There's a lot of 13 and 41 with what's it called? With LA and TNF.
Right.
If you write that out. And I'm just gonna put my notes better. 1 second. Okay. Let me see. And then so as we know, the Rams are, what's it called? They have that 10-4 riddle, the 15 triangular number. Can you hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So let me pull that up. They have that 10. Let's see. My bad. 1 second. So their last win, the Patriots' last win on Thursday Night Football was 14 months ago.
Okay.
And they can move to 10-5 head-to-head all time against the Rams in Week 14.
Right.
TNF equals 14.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, TNF. TNF's 14. Yeah, you're right. The other thing in that, the other 14 relationship is 43 is the 14th prime, and if the Patriots lost, they'd be 4-3 at the Rams in the regular season. But yeah, that 10-5 is an interesting one.
Yeah. Okay. You like the triangular numbers to hit?
Well, that's what you got, the 43 the 14th prime and 105 the 14th triangular, and they're not in agreement with each other. They're opposites. But again, I've already said 100 times what I already think tonight, so.
I see. Sorry, I came in late. I was kind of working.
Yeah, again, here's where I'm at. 35 is what's hit in pretty much every Thursday game this year where it's just been on one side. If Newton loses, he gets his 35th away regular season loss. Thursday's 35, and the Patriots will fall to 6-7, and the Rams will become 6-7 versus the Patriots. 67 is the 19th prime. It's been 19 years since the Rams beat the Patriots. The last time they beat them was the 322nd day of the year, leaving 43 days remaining. Today's McVay's 322nd day of his age, a span of 43 days to his birthday. So, just to me, that looks like the greater ritual. But that 105 thing for the Patriots is intriguing. So there are a couple things for the Patriots. It's just the 35 has been the best, most consistent thing on Thursdays. And the 67, 19th prime, 19-year cycles, that seems like a once every 19-year type of thing. So.
It is, yeah. I just also want to mention it's the 19-year anniversary of the premiere of The Lord of the Rings, when it first premiered. Maybe they're syncing that with Bill Belichick and his last ring being against the Rams.
That was the ritual last week,
right?
getting to 6-6 on the 6th, like he got his 6th championship against LA at age 66. So.
Okay, well, what if they sync that up with Donald Trump? Because it is 41 days before inauguration, and what's it called? I don't know. Belichick could stay on 133 losses, and the last time he won against the Rams was 13-3. That probably won't hit. I've come with all these kind of decodes before that haven't come through before, but I'm just saying maybe they do, because kind of sync it up with Donald Trump, because the 45 when they beat the Rams, beat the Chargers, 45-0. It was 45 days before, inauguration day. So
if the Patriots being synced with Trump is very possible, because again, he's a big Patriots fan. If they lose tonight, they're 2-5 away, and Trump's 25. So is Biden. So
I see. All right. Well,
yeah.
Thanks for taking my call, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys like the Patriots tonight because they have value, go for the Patriots. There's some stuff there, but again, realize you're going against the 35, which I guess all patterns eventually fail, but you're banking on the 35 finally not coming through tonight, because it's been the number that's just, it's been the hot knife cutting through the butter all season. Go back to that game where Fitzpatrick won on Thursday night. There were like a million things lined up for the other team. I think it was Jaguars-Dolphins, if I remember right. But the one thing that was there for the Dolphins was Fitzpatrick getting his 35th win on a Thursday. That was all that mattered. Everything that lined up with it was like everything. Fitzpatrick, had he lost, his record would have been like, God, I forget what it would have been, 43-74, just like Jacksonville numbers on both. There was just so much in that game that lined up against the Dolphins. They won. Fitzpatrick got the 35th. So... And it's been the number all year, but that game was like the most blatant example, because it was like, wow, there was so much that lined up for the Jags and they lost. I guess 35 is that big this year. So, yeah, when I first started the Decode, that was the number I was seeking out, because like I said, I'm really focused on the Pierce cipher this week, the blue one, just like all I really looked at back in the olden days, and that's been the number. So we'll see. Yes, the value is with the Patriots. Like I said, if I was going to bet on the Patriots tonight, it would be a small bet with some of the games that look solid this weekend to try to get that parlay effect. But it is funny, though, how they did make the 10-5 thing there. That is the best riddle for the Patriots, 10-5. So I think the Patriots do have a chance to sneak in the playoffs at this point. So anyway, we'll leave it there. I got to run a few errands. I will finish up the notes tonight is the goal. So the notes are linked. Passwords NFL 2020 all caps. All the QB stats are in here head to head. I need to plug in the coach information, the birthday distance, and then do some more of the gematria decoding. But I would look at the notes as they are, because the stuff that's in here right now is the most crucial stuff week after week. Sometimes it's the stuff I end up at. It's just like last week. When we first started last week, I liked the Patriots to win the game, and I wish I would have just stayed right there. It was the extra decoding that took me off the Patriots, and sometimes that overanalyzing, it hurts you. So we'll leave it right there for now. Good luck, you guys, and listen for any clues they might throw out there.